You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live. I am your host, Dario Kristen, and here joining me today is the lovely Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And DJ Jesse J.
What's up, Dario? I don't know if your mic's actually on. I think they got my mic on because you sounding like mythical up in here.
I know I sound like a wizard up in this piece.
I know.
Wizard.
Some
We're off
odd
to
stuff
see the
that's going
wizard.
on right now.
This is Black Hollywood Live.
What's happening?
What is going on? And I think the music is starting over.
There's more music.
There's more music.
Keep it up. Keep it
Keeping it
up.
up.
We don't know what's going on.
We don't know what's going on right
It's
now.
the remix.
I am sure we're going to start the show over because I can't hear it.
This week, you can't hear anything?
No, it's
I hear
crazy.
lots of things.
I hear it just echo. It's crazy.
I hear everybody. It sounds really surround soundy.
Welcome to our new studio.
Isn't it beautiful?
We can hear you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm.
So we're still on?
I'm super echoed.
Are we still going?
No, you sound fine now. Let's just go.
Okay, well, turn me down a little bit now because everything I say still is super echo. But.
He's like hearing everything.
Alrighty.
All right, can we start over now?
Are we starting over?
Dario, we live right now.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we're still live.
All right, well, there you go. Okay. Well, on today's show, we have a variety of different topics, including Tracy Morgan's new gig, actor Sean Penn is suing director Lee Daniels, sisters took over the Emmys, and the black females are on the rise of being arrested in school. But first, we're going to read the buzzer meter question for this week, which is masculinity too fragile in 2015?
Interesting.
Talking
That's an
We're going to
interesting
be
topic.
talking about that.
But first up, we're going to go with the trending topics with DJ Jesse J.
So, Tracy Morgan.
Yes.
Love Mr. Tracy Morgan. Well, he is going to be allegedly making his comeback to the big screen very soon in a Richie Keene directed movie called Fist Fight, starring Ice Cube, and basically it's about this dorky teacher who gets into it with this macho teacher. I don't really know what the role is for Tracy yet, but so he will be coming back to the big screen.
Good for him.
After his accident last year.
Yeah.
But there's been a little bit of drama going around with Mr. Morgan.
Of course.
So we know Tracy was in the car accident with a legendary
Walmart
comedian, Jimmy Mack, who passed away.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy Mack's family is a little upset because they felt like Tracy should have mentioned something on the Emmys. They feel like Tracy should have reached out to the family after the fact. They feel like, well, Jimmy's son is like outraged. He has gone on a rant of like, screw him. He's not. Everyone thinks he's this nice guy. He's this bad guy. His sister, on the other hand, she's been a little more common sense about it.
Yeah.
She said, look, I understand that there's a grieving time and a healing, but it would be nice to, have some sort of acknowledgement from him to the family. That's interesting.
I mean...
What do you think?
I mean, it was his friend, but and on first hand, you're like, it would be like very polite to like reach out to the family and say, I'm, sorry for your loss, send you a card. I don't know that he hasn't done anything,
right.
Or has he just not done what they would have liked him to do,
right?
And enough. And the reality is, his brother was in a coma and couldn't walk, and like trying to get his own life back together. And didn't his wife like have a baby, or they had just had a baby when the accident happened? They have a young child or something. So he had a lot going on to be like all up in your family, and who knows what their relationship was, and if he didn't know you before, maybe all he did was send a card or have his assistance.
It was his mentor, apparently, but
the guy was his mentor, or he was mentoring the other guy?
No, Jimmy Mack was
Tracy's
Morgan's
mentor. But that doesn't mean he has any like super
No,
relationship
true.
with the rest of his family. So beyond like the typical like I send you a card or I send you, a sorry, condolences. Like, I don't know what their expectation was that he's not meeting, but I don't know. It sounds a little.
It sounds like it could be financially motivated
I feel like
too.
it's money.
Especially if he is in the process of suing the company right now. The Walmart.
But they would be a part of that suit. Like, they could have a wrongful death suit for him. So that would be, like, separate for them altogether. I don't know. And maybe he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It could be, but it is a little strange. But at the same time, knowing what happened to him after it, maybe he's not ready to face it himself.
Yeah, I mean, it was very traumatic for him.
So to actually, like, go and sit down and talk to the family of somebody you, like, really loved and care about, he has to be emotionally ready for that too. And maybe he's just not yet.
Yeah.
Well, on a positive note, he is rumored to be coming back to the big screen.
Yes.
It also is, he will be hosting SNL next month.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, he was hilarious on the Emmys when he walked out, and he got the
Yes.
standing ovation. I mean, you saw even a lot of his, former co-stars were in tears, and when he said the comment about "I'm back" and a lot of these women tonight at the party are going to get pregnant, I was like, Tracy's back. He's ready.
It's good.
He's slowly recovering.
Hit it with comedy. All right, so speaking of comedy, Twitter had me dying all week.
Did it?
Yes, the hashtag masculinity so fragile. So some women on Twitter have been saying that misogynist instances have been popping up all over the world. It's interesting because they started posting these pictures of male products or products that are meant to target men that are just general products, but they have to turn them masculine, and also things that we do in everyday life that we have to question our masculinity about. I believe one of the pictures that we have is like the new iPhone's coming out, and it's like this pink metallic color.
People are already lined up for it. I saw it on the news.
Like the people on Twitter are talking about, if I get the pink iPhone, does that mean I'm gay? It goes back to things like
We should tell them yes.
if I pierce my right
Just so they'll
ear,
shut up.
that means you're gay.
That did used to be the
sign.
sign.
But that was
back
in
in
like
the day.
1991.
And I used to
Yeah, that was
pierce
real
my left
1991.
ear just because of that. I was like, I know what I do. Like, yeah, if you get the pink iPhone, all of a sudden you're gonna get an urge to suck some dick. Like, get your life.
Bum.
But I'm just saying, you know.
Get right to the point.
Get right to the point in the
I'm
new
just
studios
saying,
today.
like, come on. Well, it's funny. I think we were talking about it right before this. So one of my roommates uses like baby wipes to go to instead of toilet paper.
Yes, hopefully flushable ones.
Yes,
Or
flushable.
you'll-
So I was walking through the store, and all of a sudden I saw this package called Dude, and I was like, "What is this?" It's Dude wipe. It's baby wipes for men, but it looks like Axe deodorant.
It's all manified.
Listen,
Yeah, it's manified.
I would buy them.
But first of all,
Target them.
now hold
Alright,
up, because
there
I'm
you
not
got
gonna
me.
lie. Baby wipe, using flushable baby wipes versus toilet paper was
It's an
like,
important decision you should all make.
It was an
it is
amazing decision.
It is, but I will say this, and I don't mean to be gross and graphic, but I think because I'm so used to toilet tissue, the moisture part kind of is a little weird to get used to at first.
Well, I'll give
I
you a
use both,
story
because it almost feels
that
like
will
the
fix
water.
that for you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, the story that will fix that for
She's
you
gonna
is
ruin my life.
I know. I
right
just
now.
already know. Let me
Whenever
give it
Courtney
back.
has a
squeeze
story.
some ketchup on your hand.
What?
Wipe it off with your toilet paper, and then squeeze some ketchup on your other hand and wipe it off with a baby wipe. Touch your hand, smell it. It's still there if you wipe it with the toilet paper.
Ew.
Oh,
Baby
okay.
wipes are a good plan, guys. It's a good plan.
I agree. Listen,
Okay, so wait,
It gets funky in there, I'm
but
sure.
the thing is that the price. Now you can get some good baby wipes, 150 pack count, for like $199, $215 if you go the right places. These motherfuckers were $6 something. And they had
$6.
less wipes in it.
Yeah.
But just because
It's it's repackaged
yes.
for the men, and
Yeah.
just
And it's got all the,
marketing.
the design. I'm sure it's got a little special scent, like you said. So of course, they're gonna up the price on that.
So my question is
Is it
Are
not
we?
masculine to wear?
yeah, have
used
we
baby
become a
wipes?
country where it's like, okay, if men can't wear pink, like where did this start from? How do we still continue to fall into this? You know, I mean, we talk about it with Jaden Smith all the time when he's wearing like a.
Because y'all were mad he was wearing a dress, and I thought he was cute.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's really funny that there is
Daryl's
something.
like, I won't be wearing a dress.
I'm not wearing a dress, but I do wear skinny jeans or slim jeans. You know what I mean? So that is I guess, masculine versus feminine kind of thing. It's what do they call it? Metrosexual. So I think that it's just interesting now because whenever I go into stores, if I go to H&M, if I go to Forever 21, or if I go to Macy's or wherever it may be, if you look at the clothing, a lot of times, especially in like H&M and Forever 21, there's a lot of things that look like it could go on the female's rack or the male's rack. So it's what is masculinity at this point? At this, men are getting manicures, men are getting facials. I go get facials. I want to continue to look good for the rest of my life. Men are getting massages now. Men are doing a lot of things that women. Why are you laughing, Courtney?
I'm not laughing.
I'm just saying there's a lot of things now that have crossed the line. Women also like a man to be groomed. Men are getting their eyebrows cut, trimmed and things.
Yeah.
So, so what is masculinity at this point?
That's a good question.
Why are you still smiling?
I don't know, I'm just laughing because I'm like, yeah, you do. But then there's still some of us women out there that still like it to be a little bit rugged.
But
I'm sure,
so like the word man bun.
Wait, what's a man bun?
It's a dude that has a bun.
A dude that has a bun. But we call it man bun because it makes men who have buns feel like it's more masculine to have a man bun. But you got a bun on your head. You literally sitting up there like a female putting the bun up in it. You know what I mean? When I was growing my hair out and I had to get them little things just to hold my hair, but I was like sitting there like,
it's too much.
I felt gayer than I
felt too feminine.
Ever felt.
Okay.
I see lots of dudes with men buns around here. I know to me, there's a fine line with that. I think there's a fine line.
All right.
Well, I was just reading some of them. Some of them are just go check them out on Twitter. They took it to the next level.
Check that hashtag.
Yes, masculinity is so fragile. And let us know what you think. Do you think masculinity
too fragile?
Well, let me ask Connie a quick question before we move to the next one. What do you consider something that when it's taken too far by a man? Like when would you say, okay, that crosses the line of being too feminine?
Like take your dick up.
That's really hard because that goes to like personal preference and attraction and your man is like
but
and he's
Rambo.
And
he can take fools out.
Older school too because he's older than me quite substantially, so that's a whole nother sort of generation that came up masculine wise, and he's Southern, so that means something too. So I don't know, if he was getting a mani-pedi, I might be like, what's wrong with you? But if you're getting a mani-pedi, I would think it's perfectly normal and not a big deal. So I don't really know. I think it just depends on the person.
I kind of think it does depend solely on the person. But I mean, we create that.
Yeah.
And I would never get a mani-pedi because I don't like people cutting my nails and my fingers or my feet. I don't like. It's just too close. I don't know.
It just ain't happened yet.
No.
Daryl's the type of person you have to bring him to the place.
Look at these things right here. Do you think these get cut by a professional?
At the right place.
These do not get cut by a professional.
You get yourself a glass of champagne and they start rubbing on your feet.
Oh wait, they give you champagne? I'm sold. Wait, you get champagne? Let's go right after we take this show today. I didn't know you get champagne. Oh, that changes the game. I thought you just sit there with some hot water on your feet.
No, you have the massage chair, you get champagne, and you hang out.
Okay, listen, I've changed my decision and the comment I made.
You sit up in there, they have TVs, you can watch your favorite TV show.
You can watch magazines, you can
listen,
talk.
You had me at champagne. We good. Let's go.
It's great.
Let's get it.
So maybe you're getting your mani-pedi done and you're watching your favorite TV show. Well, as soon as that TV show's done, you guys can head over to our sister site, AfterBuzzTV.com, right after, and we'll be over there talking about whatever your favorite show is. Me and Daryl will tape Wags from E. Me and Courtney, we do Love and Hip Hop. And Roha about to come back.
Real Housewives is on its way next month, I think.
And that's all we got for you. So make sure you guys check out AfterBuzzTV.com.
Hey.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. We're going to move on to Gossip with Courtney Stewart.
Woo woo. Well, y'all know the Emmys was this past weekend. It was 106 degrees in Los Angeles, and hoes was sweating on the red carpet and wearing their wigs out. But
passing out, too. Some people passed out.
Passing out.
It was worth it.
It was crazy, but it was worth it, y'all, because the sisters came out strong, hitting hard. Okay? History was made. Viola Davis took home Best Actress in a Drama Series. Leading actress in a drama series, and she is the first black woman to do that ever in life. ever.
I gotta give her another clap for that.
Big
and her
hands
speech
up.
was spectacular.
And her speech was spectacular. And of course, it was Oduba won for Orange is the New Black. And then we also had Regina King give them shout outs.
Well deserved. So happy
well
for
deserved.
Regina.
They both won awards. All three of them won awards that night. But speaking of Viola Davis's speech, she gave this lovely, lovely speech where she quoted Harriet Tubman, and she made the following comment in her speech that seemed to make sense to like all of us and like was very touching for most people. Here's what she said. She said, quote, "The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there." So here's to all the writers, the awesome people who have redefined what it means to be beautiful, to be sexy, to be a leading woman, and to be Black. So we was all at home, and some people in the audience, we was clapping. She got a standing ovation when she walked off the stage. Everybody was like, "Yo, that was it. She went there, and that was a great way to go there and explain that in this world of trying to figure out diversity." Well, y'all, there's some people out there or some person out there who decided that she don't know what she's talking about. Her name was Nancy Lee Grahn. For those of you guys who have never heard this woman's name in your life, watch General Hospital. She's been on there for like 25 years. Yeah. She plays Alexis Cassadine, whom I used to like, and now I'm like, oh no.
Bye,
okay,
Alexis.
so she was on Twitter. She was apparently watching the Emmys while she was at home.
Not
at the Emmys.
20, 25 years.
And she started just running off at the mouth on Twitter. And she said the following things, quote, "I wish I loved hashtag Viola Davis's speech, but I thought she should have let @Shonda Rhimes write it first. Next one, I'm a effing actress for 40 years. None of us get respect or opportunity we deserve. Emmys not venue for racial opportunity. All women are belittled." She went on to tweet some more things that she deleted that were also quite offensive. And of course, this got picked up. Black Twitter went Rambo on her.
As they always do.
Black Twitter be rolling up on motherfuckers.
I feel like there's a Black Twitter
what you
bus
said?
just waiting outside of venues for people.
Just like waiting for people to F up on Twitter. And they went in on her and they had some really great things to share. Hold on, I got to pull this one up. My favorite one, because I mean, obviously there were some great ones and there always are, but the favorite of the night made a reference to my favorite movie. So that's the one that I'm going to share with you. She goes, oh, this was at Russian_star. He said, "Doesn't Nancy Lee Grahn remind you of Miss Millie from Color Purple? Quote, I've always been good to you people." For those of y'all that don't know the reference, please watch that movie because that is the perfect,
It
like
kinda
most
is, actually,
perfect
yeah.
description of what Nancy Lee did. Another person, her name is at Brain of April. She said, "I'm told that Nancy Lee Grahn deleted some of the most offensive tweets she had. Never fear. Hashtag all actresses matter." She's coming obviously for the hashtag that we're always using, all Black Lives Matter, and people are saying all lives matter. So anyway, lots and lots of people went for her on Twitter. She comes back to Twitter. That's the other thing. When you like go out and come for people, like come strong. Don't come back. Don't back up and be like, "I didn't mean it like that." Right. So basically she came back on Twitter and she apologized. And Nancy said the following: "I never meant to diminish her accomplishment. I wish I could get her roles. She is a goddess. I want equality for all women, not just actors."
You never meant to diminish it, but you said maybe Shonda should have wrote it.
Yeah, the
like,
first day.
Yeah.
And one of the tweets that
But
got
you wish you could
deleted,
have that
she said Viola had not been discriminated against.
She did say that. Yeah, I saw that one.
That one got deleted, but she said she had never been discriminated against. And basically, how dare she be talking about being discriminated? She's a Black woman, been working as an actress for 35 years. She's never been discriminated against. Right. And of course, Viola Davis has been on the press circuit because How to Get Away with Murder premiered last night, for those of y'all that didn't watch it. She was asked what she thought of, or did she receive any backlash from her speech? And her very kind comment went as follows. She said, "If there has been any backlash, it's that all people want to feel included in a speech. I know there has been some backlash with an actress who didn't feel she was included." And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I love her comment back.
She told that to the New York Times.
And I love that it even took her a couple of days to even make a comment, because initially she wasn't saying anything. And I respect her even more because of that.
Amen to that.
My favorite thing is that instantly after Viola had won the award, the Beehive Did you see this? Mm-hmm. Got control of this, and they made this.
I see a line. And over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out.
Like
That was great.
That's
it was
great.
like 5 to 10 minutes
Like,
after.
and people, how do
the
they
show.
get to the stuff so fast and like
Creative.
think like, let
Yeah.
me do this? But what was also fun or funny, Viola did comment about it, talking about the speech and how her husband said that he was actually concerned. Like when she started talking and giving the speech, he was like, "You started talking about the white ladies. I didn't
Right.
know where you were
Right.
going."
Right.
And
Yeah.
she did an interview with Ellen yesterday, and Ellen was like, "Yeah, I was feeling the same way." And it was funny because I was sitting in my seat like, "Oh, Viola, where you going? Where you going?" Because I was like,
We don't need ammonia.
I didn't know if she was about to put the like hammer down like hardcore
Right.
or like what was gonna come, but it came out beautifully and
No,
the
it did.
quote was
and
wonderful.
It,
and
it said what it needed to say.
it said exactly what it needed
And
to
I
say.
also heard that actress from General Hospital was suspended or something from the show.
Oh, I had not seen that.
Yeah, I had heard that as well.
Well, sorry, Alexis
That's interesting.
Cassadine.
Damn girl, look, now you ain't got no coin.
You know you want ABC, you need to back up. That's an ABC show. Well, how you gonna come from their star right now? That's not okay. Anyway, congratulations Viola, congratulations Uzo, and congratulations Regina.
And congratulations to Raji too, because
Raji, too.
Empire. It was all about
everybody
Empire.
that
at the
was in
show.
the audience. Yeah, you guys are great, and
Yeah.
your shows are great, and we'll keep watching. So yay for diversity. Moving on.
Holla.
Speaking of diversity. Okay, so Empire's back.
Sure. is.
Lee Daniels giving interviews prior to the show coming back. And we know Lee Daniels can talk.
Yes.
And he will say some stuff. So he was doing an interview for The Hollywood Reporter. And he was basically being asked about Terrence Howard, who plays Lucius. And we
I love the
all
way
know.
you- every other word you
And
really
we-
pronunciate.
And we know how Lucius in real life has had some, dramas with the ladies in his life. And he's been, accused of some violence towards the ladies in his life. And so the reporter's asking Lee about that. And basically Lee was like, yo, he ain't no different than like Sean Penn or any of these other white boys running around that's done beat up hoes and they doing just fine.
Ooh,
Well, apparently Sean Penn
did not take too
got a
long.
whiff of that interview and it was not smelling very good to him at all. So much so that he said, "Oh, hell no, Lee Daniels. I
Bye.
am suing you for defamation for $10 million. You only said that shit so that it would get picked up and run everywhere to promote your show. That's bogus. That is not who I am. That is not representative of who I am, and that is not cool." So he is officially suing him for $10 million. It's been put up in court in New York. So
Now I don't know no tea on Sean Penn, but has Sean Penn been in the news?
okay, so
for-
here's the tea.
well,
Well, it's not real tea.
it's-
It's old tea.
It's OT.
There was word on the street back in the day that with Madonna, there was an episode where
Yeah.
Madonna got like locked up in the house and tied up to a chair and beat with something.
right.
Like,
That's been the rumor for years.
Was that a
Yeah.
sexual thing? Because she did that in the video.
Okay.
Well-
the rumor was that her ass was getting beat up by
Right.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
He was never charged or convicted of anything.
No.
But that was a very common sort of rumor comment around town, around everything. But obviously that was in what, 1989 or something?
Somewhere around there.
So we didn't have like the universe moving the way that it moves now. So it wasn't getting out in the streets the way that it did. And for that reason, actually, Sean Penn is kind of like, how could he be saying that? Like, you're spreading all of this information. And then Lee is like, dude, it's common knowledge. Like,
We've already heard.
yeah, so part of the thing with the defamation suit is Sean having to prove that Lee like knew that this was a lie that he was telling, when most of us sort of receive that as true.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that though. That's someone can make up something. There's no hard facts to it. There's like what Sean is saying, which is true. There's nothing that has been reported on this. So someone can make up anything about us, and that could be an urban legend, and it goes on for 15 years. And you know how things go when it goes from word to word, mouth to mouth. Things are added. It could have. I mean, I hate to say this, but it could have been that he just maybe slapped her, but then it became 15 years later that he beat her and whipped her and put her in chairs and tied her up on
course.
ropes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Park Cosby'd her.
What? What'd you say?
Were you
Say
watching
hot
that?
Cosby her? No.
Did you hear it?
No.
Oh, so they told me to watch.
That's why I was like, what?
They had me watch an episode of South Park here before y'all came.
Oh,
And it was
okay.
the Bill Cosby rape one.
I haven't seen it.
And they referenced raping as hot
Cosby.
Cosby.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a
Sorry.
different. That's
South Park goes there.
That's a different subject. But I'm gonna
Did you see
say
the Caitlyn Jenner one?
They go there.
they go there. But this is my biggest problem with it is not even the fact of Sean getting mad or the defamation of character or anything like that. It's the fact that it doesn't matter what race you are, a man shouldn't be hitting a woman. So why are we even referencing this and talking about, in the sense of there's been some criticism towards Lee that, yes, he's saying, okay, what happened to Terrence is because he's a black man, he's getting more pubner, he's looked upon differently, which is true. But my bigger problem is that why are these things? Why are you even supporting that? Not that he's supporting it, but he's not.
It's not like he has a stance against it. It's like it ain't a big deal.
Yeah, he's kind of like it ain't a big deal. That's the way I felt.
It's like some
about it.
Chris Brown shit.
Yeah, so that's the more upsetting part to me, actually, beyond the race about thing with both of them. So.
Agreed.
But I mean, do you think that this will actually do you think Sean Penn could get $10 million for this?
I mean, he ain't gonna get $10 million.
But I'm interested just to see what it does Hollywood-wise, because those are two big names.
Big names doing things.
And Lee put it in Hollywood Reporter, right? That's where the interview was. So I mean, he put it in a major.
But the point of the defamation, he's going to have to prove that Lee was not aware was aware that was a lie. And if it's sort of become common knowledge, whether it's accurate or not doesn't matter.
Facts,
but that's not the point. He didn't say he was convicted of domestic abuse. He didn't say he was arrested for domestic abuse.
Was Terrence?
He referenced the event. That's the thing. Terrence has been arrested for it, so he actually has a record. Okay. But he was referencing something that's been reported on for years.
Yeah, I gotta side with
so
that.
it's not like he was making it up out of his butt, and then putting it out there for public consumption. So I think defamation, he's probably not gonna get anything.
I think it was a weird one for him to choose out of everything that he could have
of everybody he could have picked.
Because also Madonna was, if it did happen, she was pretty quiet about it. Versus Terrence's ex-wife is putting him on blast, and that's been her defense.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It's a little different. It is a weird reference to me.
I mean, in the end, he was just saying that they've demonized Terrence quite a bit.
Sure.
In the media. Personally, rightfully so, if you beat up. But that's just my opinion.
And watch who you sleep with and who you lay with, because
they
he's
tell
not
me your
picking the right
business,
choices.
like whatever. But he's just saying that it's the same argument always. Like, the black people have to be on their best behavior, do 8 times better, because when they don't, they get killed for it. Michael Vick.
I mean,
he was destroyed because of what he did, and people joke about it, but it's serious. So like, he's not living up to his proper standard, and Lee is basically saying it's not fair that that's the standard for a black dude when we don't have the same standard for a white dude.
But at the same time, just the devil's advocate, that Chris Brown. We still accept
Chris Brown. I agree. Yeah.
I feel like
I was actually trying to think.
like no one ever got, like, people were upset with Chris Brown, but it was always a slap on the side. But slap
Hell,
on
we really took back OJ. If you want to be honest, we really took back OJ. We took back OJ.
Nobody took
maybe
OJ.
You did.
OJ was taken back.
Where did he go?
As of late,
meaning
like he was still accepted by the black community after the.
Well, see, that's what I feel like. I feel like Chris Brown was accepted by the black community. Like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. They probably were fighting each other much quicker than because Australia still don't want his ass coming to their country because he beat her up 8 years ago. Right. So I don't know. In the end, the point is Terrence still is a dumbass and doing bullshit. And by Lee saying this at all, he's basically condoning what Terrence has done.
That was my problem. Yeah,
and that's an issue. But that is not to say that what his argument was, he was making an argument that the standard is different.
Yeah.
whatever.
But we know this already, and we've known this, and I mean, I don't know. I think we could talk about that too, or
we're blue in the face.
We're blue in the face is still going to continue. So
But misbehavior
it may change a
is
little
misbehavior.
bit. Yeah.
Stop fucking up, Terrence, and be done with it.
Yes. Holla. Maybe this new wife. He got remarried again, didn't he?
Didn't he
just
go
recently?
back to the first wife or something? She
Something.
was at the Emmys. The first one, they were back at the Emmys together with rings on.
Yeah, I can't keep up.
Like, it's a mess. Like, he just, I don't know.
Maybe
Whatever.
he's
But I did used to love
a serial
him.
dater and marrier.
Maybe, I don't know.
All right,
Crazy.
well,
He's just a
Anyway,
good luck. I
Good luck,
I want to
y'all.
know how that all is going to end.
Sean, Lee, peace.
Peace.
Give me a check.
Right. I know that's right. All right. Well, before we move on to our last hot topics, I want to remind everyone to go to iTunes, go to Black Hollywood Live, give us a rating and comment. I've been reading a lot of the comments that you guys have been giving us for this week, which have been great. You've been giving us a lot of 5 stars, which we really appreciate. And if you don't want to give us a 5 stars, let us know why. And we will definitely continue to try and improve the programming. But we have an assortment of different shows. We have Geek.Nerd.Tech. We have Fashion 411. We have The Beat, which Jesse hosts. We have Just Saying with Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives and April Daniels. And so those are great shows as well. But please look up our shows. Give us a rating and comment. Let us know what you do and don't like. And we'll continue to give you the best programming that we can.
Yeah,
all right, now
but
we're
wait a minute.
oh.
Hold on, because I know we've been telling y'all every single week about DraftKings.com.
Every week,
That's right,
y'all.
we have.
And
But
this-
I'm telling y'all, there's so many prizes and so much money that you guys can be making right now.
I mean, I went on and did it myself because I want to try and win that $2 million.
How
Even if
was
I get
it?
the $1
How was
million.
the process?
It's easy. I mean, you just really go in, you log in. We have a code name which is Black, which
No,
is
code name is Geek.
Geek this week.
Geek this week. Excuse me. It was Black before when I went on it.
Geek.
And but now it's Geek. And it's just an easy process. It's a lot of fun. I think it's different from I've only done a couple fantasy football kind of leagues, but this one was pretty simple. I mean, I thought it was going to be
So I'm
complicated.
going to be able to go in, sign up.
You
and
don't.
even if
I know you don't really know football,
Right.
and you can go in there and you can easily maneuver through this.
Ladies.
Plus, like I
$10
said,
million.
they got a lot of prizes.
I know,
So,
and I have the number 10,000 stuck in my head recently.
no,
so
but it's 10 million.
No, I know. But I mean, look, I ain't greedy. You know, if I win the
Listen, I'll take 10,000.
10,000. I would take 10.
I'll take 10 grand.
I just have had the number 10,000 in my head, and I feel like
That's where it's gonna come from. Maybe.
DraftKings.com. Check it out.
DraftKings.com. 2 million top
2 million.
prize.
All right. Now to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, we know that Morgan Freeman is always in the news because he is doing movies.
Yes.
That man works
All the time.
all the
Me some
time.
Morgan
And
Freeman.
he's well in his 70s and working. He motivates me for life.
For sure.
But he has been in the news as of late for a more tragic story. His granddaughter, her name is Edina Hines, was killed in August by her boyfriend, whose name is, allegedly by her boyfriend, Lamar Davenport. What they said is that they were in New York. She lived in Harlem in a apartment. And witnesses say that around 3 a.m. they saw Edina and her boyfriend, as I mentioned, Lamar Davenport, out in the street. They were arguing. He was stabbing her. He stabbed her 15 to 16 times. What one of the neighbors described it as a cocaine-induced exorcism is what it seemed like, because I
wow.
guess he had he was spitting out things from the Bible, different verbs from the Bible and sayings, and they said that even when the cops came, that he was still trying, even though the knife was sticking in her, he was still like motioning with his hand. The knife that wasn't there was stuck in her. So he was clearly, taken into custody. He was tested for, by a psychiatrist, and as of this week, Thursday, he pleaded not guilty to killing her. That's why they're calling him the alleged killer.
But they walked in on that?
He was literally arrested on the street. He had stabbed her, but
So
he
how is he
pleaded
claiming
not
not
guilty
guilty? Well, because you can
he's
still
saying, I think what they're saying, because he was insane by
or-
drugs, that he wasn't in his right state of mind. They said that when he was in the cop car driving to the police station, that he was asking people had they been saved and were they sinners. He was saying it to the cops, and he was still spitting out this biblical verses.
And that's ecstasy?
They said it's cocaine.
Cocaine.
Well,
Okay.
it's been described as a cocaine exorcism,
That
is
sounds
what
like
they
some
said.
bath salts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like, what kind of amount
What kind of coke
cocaine
was
were you
that?
on? Because,
Yeah.
I mean...
So he has pleaded not guilty, and now it's just in the hands to see what's going to happen with the next steps.
goodness.
So
That's
it's kind of a
awful.
really crazy story. What do you guys think about it?
Prayers and condolences to Morgan
Morgan
and
his family. That's
Because
awful.
that's just crazy.
That is really awful.
And they said that, if you look at a lot of pictures with Morgan on the red carpet, she was with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was 33 years old, and the boyfriend is 30 years old.
Yeah.
He's an actor, musician as well.
Not no more.
But they said he has been arrested before and has a history of having a drug problem. So,
So sad.
it's really sad. And they said that she was like really kind of up and coming actress. She had a
Yeah,
lot of
she was
projects
doing
going on,
stuff,
and she was
yeah.
doing some great things and really supported by Morgan as well. So it's a really tragic and sad story, and a big loss for his family. So our condolences again with Morgan Freeman and his family. But we're going to move on to our last story of the day, which is a recent research study that's been put out there that says that the arrest of black girls in schools is on the rise.
Say what?
Say what? Say what? They're saying now that the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights just recently did a study, and what they found was that 40% out of the national average of girls arrested in school, 43% are African American females. Now, a lot of advocates are going and complaining about this because they're saying, obviously African American girls have different procedures in life that possibly that are happening where they're not being mentored, or the justice system is so easy to put them into jail or into these detention homes without having the proper mentorship to help them understand the wrongdoing and get them out of this kind of mind frame before taking them to jail or things like that. So there's a couple of things that the advocates have complained about. One is the growth is due. They said the growth is due to a skewed school policy. They said just in general, the schools, obviously, if you're African American, have different standards than other races and different pressures put on them. They said racism toward black students is obviously growing, and that's a huge reason for some of these things that are happening. And they said, of course, as I mentioned, the lack of mentor and education programs to help these young girls to kind of really understand and mentor them and get them out of the traditional system that's been, given upon them. Now, this is what Nora Jones of the Pace Center for Girls said. She said, "Our girls are in crisis." She said, "We've got to invest in prevention, and what we've got to do is invest now." Do you agree with that it's more of the double standard of black girls having a different environment than non-black girls?
I mean, I guess if that is what the study, I guess it goes to that whole situation where if on college campuses, if the white frats are excited because the football team won the game and they're jumping on cars and setting shit on fire, it's a crazy over celebratory situation. But if black students were doing that in a group, it would be a riot and they are destroying the city and all of that kind of thing. So I guess it sort of feeds that same story that I'm assuming these girls, they're at school, they're getting in fights or whatever, and cops are called, and maybe they're called more often than they would be if the white girls are getting in the fights, and that's why they're getting arrested more. And it's just weird to hear stuff like this, because you're sitting here and we're all right, we're celebrating diversity.
I know.
They're putting black people on TV. We have a black president. Things are supposed to be but nothing is actually lining up. Apparently. Nope. So
it's not translating fully into the community as of yet. Yeah.
At all. And it's that is life, I don't know. It's just very unsettling either way. And if the statistics are accurate, 40%, what do black girls make up of the school population? 12%? Because black people are only what?
Yeah, it's pretty low. It was low.
20? Are we even 20% of the American population?
I think I don't. At this point, I think we are.
Okay,
Jesse, look that up.
I'm trying to remember. So, because I don't want to confuse it, I always think about the makeup at my college, which is a hot mess right now. But anyway, it's disturbing because we're essentially doing what has already been very well done to black men.
Right. Yeah.
So black men are basically supporting the whole prison complex in this country, and now we're making it the women too.
Yeah,
and that's a scary thing. It's a very scary thought.
But I think that like we were just saying, celebrating diversity on the Emmys and just things are slowly shifting. I think that even though that process has just been a long overdue process, it will slowly trickle down to the community. I think slowly. I mean, it's going to be a really slow process. And I'm sure, I would guess that a lot of these statistics are taken from lower income.
But that's what scares me, because if it's taken from lower income communities, right now the issue in this country is the gap that is only increasing. Poor is getting poorer, while rich is getting richer. Like, it's not closing. So that's only going to get worse if this is what the trend is economically and if it continues. So I don't know what to do with that. I'm very...
Well, sometimes I'm also, with these statistics, I feel like, are they biased? Because here's the thing. All we hear about is how education is changing. More African American students are enrolling in colleges. We just talked a couple weeks ago about
more black women are graduating.
More black women are graduating. More black men are graduating. Yes, there may be less of them going to HBCUs, as we reported a couple weeks ago, but they're still going to,
school somewhere.
So then that doesn't translate to all these young women who are going to prison or going to detention homes. I mean, I feel like there's an imbalance there for me that just...
It ain't adding up.
Yeah, it's not adding up.
Well, I guess it would make sense in terms of generationally speaking that the lower end of the millennial generation is who's being affected by these changes in the way that the justice system is working for young people. So whereas the ones that were, 10 years older than them are doing better and doing well, it's now shifting in the wrong direction for those that are coming up behind us, which, I mean, is sort of the theory of what's going on in the country overall, is that our kids are we are not doing better than our parents were, and our kids are not going to be doing better than our parents were.
Right.
So,
working with the Boys and Girls Club, I would always say the biggest problem, and it was 12%, but that was 2010. Was the last time.
So hasn't grown that
So it's
much
every 10
then.
years.
But working at the Boys and Girls Club, you see the difference in generations. And so with my family, someone was always home when me and my brother, somebody of an older age, and it wasn't like my older cousin. It was somebody. And I don't know if that was just because we're Greek and my family just lived in the neighborhood. But once I started working at the Boys and Girls Club, you start seeing these other families, and you start seeing the younger moms or single moms who have to work, and how they just drop the ages that they just are so comfortable dropping their kids off. Like, I would never bring an infant to the Boys and Girls Club and expect.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, things like that. And it gets to a point where it's kids raising kids, and, everyone always goes back to the fact, well, parents should be teaching their kids. Well, in this generation, I don't know if that works anymore. No. Because it's at a point where I almost question that as a celebrity, or you get into this world of media, do you pay attention more to just the craft and be who you want to be? Or is it that you have to think responsibly and think that you really are changing? I look at somebody like a Rihanna and Beyonce, and that world of media, like, they really are shaping our generation. They are. Whether they want to admit it or not, because Rihanna said she would never do something with Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift's a role model and she's not. And I know that she had some subtle tone in there. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're acknowledging that and that's what you're thinking, what are you doing to better yourself as a role model? To really understand that, Rihanna, you have a large amount of people, and I hate to just put it on them and bring it on, but I see who the kids are watching and what they're paying attention. They're not watching the election. They're not watching the political races. They don't care. They're watching what's on Tidal, what's on HBO special, what Rihanna's wearing. That's what they care about. Right. Everyone wants to be an actor. Everyone wants to be a celebrity or star, in the world of celebrity.
Or musician.
And where does that stem from? Does it stem from reality TV stars? Are we putting them on pedestals? And are we condoning these actions? I look at Jerry Springer, something like that, back in the day.
Still on. I mean, Maury Povich, still on. He's still telling people whose babies they got.
You know what I'm saying?
Still.
So it just amazes me. So shout out to Zendaya, because she finally getting her Barbie.
She is getting her Barbie.
You know what I mean? Like,
give them some inspiration.
And positive role models.
And she's working on a show or a movie or something like that, and she had a stunt double who was Caucasian, and she actually had them change the stunt double to
Well,
for a
she
biracial
did it.
or
that company.
The company
has something kind of came out in which basically the owner of the company's wife was being Zendaya's stunt double, and a bunch of people who had tried out for the part felt like, well, wait, it just seems like this girl gets all the roles. She don't even look like her, and so now they changed the ruling so that you have to be of some sort of the ethnicity
of the person who you're stunt doubling for.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is just one of those things. The last point I wanted to make with this also is they were saying they used shoplifting for an example. They said there's been some young girls, African American, who have gotten in trouble for shoplifting. They said instead of taking them and putting them in the jail, why don't you take them to a educational program where they're able to.
But that also speaks to, like, I'm not saying that if they were shoplifting and caught, they should not be, chastised or have the consequences for that. But if we think about systematically how things are set up, who are they following in these stores to begin with? So that's why that number would be skewed. I mean, we already know that large retailers have been sued over the last couple years for stopping grown people for stuff they weren't stealing. Right. So profiling is still happening. So they are targets. In the end, black children are targets in this country in every way, shape, or form. Absolutely. And I don't really know what the solution is, and it's stressing me out. Like,
hide your wife, hide your kids.
It's like, do we just lock them in a room somewhere and throw up our hands and say, forget it?
No, I think a slow change is going to come.
How? With what? Where?
This the next election,
because this is supposed to be like, it's 2015, and it's funny because Whoopi's always talking about, she always throws it to with Raven Simone. She always says things are definitely better. Like, it's obviously not 1955. Like,
well, yeah, if we're going to compare to that,
where things are definitely better. So I don't want to like not think that that is the case.
That part.
That is acknowledged and whatnot. But at the same time, I almost feel like the way that they are better, the things that are broken are almost more difficult to fix because it's this weird in-between space that is not overt racism. It's not overt like awfulness because you legally are supposed to be able to go to school and legally are supposed to be able to do this, but like there's these weird sort of in between the lines that keep continuing to cause problems, and I don't really know what
that the millennials have kind of accepted as, well, that's just life. Instead of looking at it as racism, they look at it like, I don't know, it's interesting.
But then it's almost like it's not racism because that was racism. This isn't really racism because white people don't not like black people. Like, that's not a thing anymore. Right. Like, it's so it's a weird. But people think like that. That's why people are so uncomfortable with talking about racism sometimes, because they're like, I'm not like great grandpa who was calling them niggas and throwing them out in the street and hanging them from trees. I'm not that.
Right.
So, but it's just a different space, and I think it's a more amorphous space that we don't really know always how to define it all the time, and it makes people uncomfortable, and it makes it really difficult to figure out what to do about it. Yeah. Because like. How do you fix it?
Like, well, listen, we'd love to hear you guys tell us what are your viewpoints on how we fix this problem that's been going on. Well, that's the show for today.
Yeah. Holla.
Holla, holla. Please also remember once again to go to iTunes, give us a rating and comment, and go vote for the BuzzMeter question this week, which is masculinity too fragile in 2015? We spoke about it. And we want to know what you guys have to think about that as well. Do you wear a man bun? Do you go get a mani and pedi?
Do you carry a merce like Daryl?
I do not carry a merce, or maybe I do sometimes. Maybe I do. That's all right. I'm okay with my merce.
There's nothing wrong with your merce.
I'm all right with it.
If I wear my earrings, does that make me gay?
Right. If I wear slim jeans.
Yes, Jesse, it does.
Or the fact that I just.
Right.
Or the fact that you are gay.
Or the fact that you are gay. Courtney, where can your fans find you?
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse.
DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Daryl Kristen on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in, and check out our new studios. We're very happy. It's the first day in them, and we'll see you next week.
My drink. I'm so tired. I don't know what happened. Okay, microphone's back.
I just drank a whole.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm gonna put
Music, Hollywood, redefined.
What is?
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.